Hello friends, welcome back to another episode of Movies and Melodies. Have you noticed that in the romantic songs or even the sad songs of like the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s too, there's a lot of nature description and sort of bringing in nature to express emotions or whatever they're feeling, which I don't see as much in the newer songs. Maybe I'm mistaken, I don't listen to that many new songs, but I feel that that kind of emotion or sentiment is not quite there now. I miss it. So today I decided to do a bunch of songs on, like, you know, songs that bring in nature in the description of the romance or whatever it may be. So in 1953, Jal was released and it starred Devanand with Geeta Bali. It was a Guru Dutt production directed by him as well. I think this concept of the story was him as well. It was a very different kind of a story, and Devanand has to be admired for the fact that he even acted in this role, because for a hero's role, it's actually that of an anti-hero. He is, there are no grey shades here, he is very definitely a bad guy. He's a smuggler and he entraps, you know, innocent young women who fall in love with him, and he gets them to sort of be his smuggling mules, so to speak. And if they get caught by the police, too bad, they're on their own. So he's that kind of a character, basically a heartless, very mercenary, self-centered man. And Geeta Bali is the one person who initially resists his charms. So it's sort of a challenge for him. He manages to work on her, and this song in the movie is sort of the tipping point. There are two versions of the song. One is a solo by Hemanta. The other is a duet with Lataji also coming in. But the solo, it's beautifully sung. Hemant Kumar's voice is so suited for this sort of subtle kind of seduction. And the music, S.D. Burman, it's one of his masterpieces, I think. And of course, you know, the gilding on all of this is Sahir Ludhianvi's lyrics. Ye raat ye chandni fir kahan, sun ja dil ki dastan, that's the song. The imagery in the song, you know, the verses, पेड़ों के शाखों पे सोई सोई चांदनी, तेरे ख्यालों में खोई खोई चांदनी, and then लहरों के होठों पे धीमा धीमा राग है, भीगी हवाओं में ठंडी ठंडी आग है. It's mind blowing. ये रात ये चांदनी फिर कहाँ, सुन जा दिल की दास्तां. ये रात ये चांदनी फिर कहाँ, सुन जा दिल की दास्तां. पेड़ों की शाखों पे सोई सोई चांदनी, पेड़ों की शाखों पे तेरे ख्यालों में खोई खोई चांदनी, और थोड़ी देर में थक के लौट जाएगी रात ये बहार की, फिर कभी न आएगी. दो एक पल और है ये समा, सुन जा दिल की दास्तां. House number 44, Ghar number 44. This was a Navketan production, Devanand, Kalpana Karthik in the lead. It's a story of a petty criminal He gets recruited into a gang and ends up being very unhappy, for one, because the gang leader is a terrible man. Meanwhile, he meets Kalpana Karthik, this young, kind of defenseless young lady, falls in love with her. I mean, they both fall in love with each other. He then decides that he wants to, you know, lead an honest life. But the gangster, now he doesn't want to let this guy go. So he sabotages every attempt at that the hero makes to lead an honest life. And all kinds of other trials and tribulations, and it all works out in the end, of course, like most Bollywood movies. Not a very inspiring movie, sadly. Not one of Navketan's exemplary movies, shall we say. Not even passing. It's so many poorly handled loose ends and stuff. Anyway, that is immaterial to our theme today. Songs, of course. S.D. Sahir again, absolutely stunning music. And the lyrics, of course, beautiful. Again, there are two songs in this movie actually. One is a Hemant Da solo, Chup Hai Dharti, Chup Hai Chand Sitare, which fits this theme. And the other one is a Lataji solo, which is absolutely divine. She has sung it very beautifully, picturized on Kalpana Karthik. फैली हुई है सपनों की बाहें, आजा चल दे कहीं दूर. And the verses, again the imagery, right? It's just stunning. झूला धनक का धीरे धीरे हम झूलें. Imagine thinking of the dhanak or rainbow as a swing. अंबर तो क्या है, तारों के भी लब छूलें. You know, it's like, forget the sky, we are going to kiss the lips of the stars. And then masti mein jhume aur sabhi gham bhoole. You know, we'll forget all our sorrows when we're in this happiness. It's just such a whimsical yet beautiful image.
बाहें आजा चल दे कहीं दूर वही मेरी मंजिल वही तेरी राहें आजा चल दे कहीं दूर फैली हुई है सपनों की बाहें आजा चल दे कहीं दूर कुछ खोए कुछ पाए छुप जाए धुंधली फिजा में कुछ खोए कुछ पाए सांसों की लय पर कोई ऐसी धुन गाए दे दे जो दिल को दिल की पनाहें आजा चल दे कहीं दूर फैली हुई है सपनों की बाहें आजा चल दे कहीं दूर.
Railway Platform. This was released in 55 also. Sunil Dutt's debut movie as a hero. And Nalini Jayawant is cast opposite him. Sheila Ramani has a parallel role, but it's a negative role. It could have been a really interesting story, I think, if it had been handled better or maybe better thought out. It's the story of, it's a love triangle basically, and it all happens on a railway platform. The train has been stopped for some reason or the other, and then this whole drama carries out. The movie didn't do much at the box office, but Sunil Dutt definitely was noticed for his acting abilities and the fact that he was a tall, handsome young man. The music, however, absolutely beautiful. Madan Mohan this time with Sahir Saab. There is this absolutely fantastic Lataji solo. She has sung it so feelingly and in a very hushed manner, suiting that environment. It's sung in the night. It's picturized on Nalini Jayawant. चांद मध्यम है आसमां चुप है नींद की गोद में जहां चुप है. Basically talking about how there is silence all around. The moon, the skies, they're all silent because everybody is sleeping in the lap of sleep. Sahir Saab, I don't even know what to say. (1964) saw the release of Shagun. Wahida Rahman, Kamaljeet in the leads. Kamaljeet went on to become Wahida ji's husband later in the 70s. The movie didn't do very well in the box office. It's actually an interesting story, maybe even an important one, how this lady is so superstitious, overly religious, and she has this sort of blind faith in astrology and astrologers. And this can be a bad thing because if the astrologer is an unscrupulous person, you know, he can mislead you. So that's basically the story. Acting was great by everyone actually, you know. In that sense it was quite nicely made, but somehow didn't appeal to the audience. Music was stunning. Khayyam Saab and of course Sahir again. There is this song there. It's a love duet. Rafi Saab, Suman Kalyanpur. Just exquisite. The imagery, again with Sahir Saab, it's just that whole imagery that he brings in with nature. Oh, पर्वतों के पेड़ों पर शाम का बसेरा है सुरमई उजाला है चंपई अंधेरा है. The way he uses adjectives. Oh, so पर्वतों के पेड़ों पर शाम का बसेरा है is, you know, where the sun is basically setting, the evening is settling into the mountains, into the trees that are resting on the mountains. Surmai ujala hai. The light has become, surmai generally means grey because it's the color of surma, you know, the stuff that you put in your eyes. But here he has made it mean like silvery. So the light is becoming silvery. Champai andhera hai, which means the darkness is becoming golden. So, you know, that whole, if you're not, you don't even have to look at the scene that's happening. You can actually see it vividly in your imagination, just listening to it.
पर्वतों के पेड़ों पर शाम का बसेरा है पर्वतों के पेड़ों पर बसेरा है, सुरमई उजाला है, चंपई अंधेरा है, सुरमई उजाला है।
दोनों वक्त मिलते हैं, दो दिलों की सूरत से, दोनों वक्त मिलते हैं, दो दिलों की सूरत से, आसमाने खुश होकर रंग सा बिखेरा है, आसमाने खुश होकर।
ठहरे ठहरे पानी में गीत सरसराते हैं, ठहरे ठहरे पानी में गीत सरसराते हैं, भीगे भीगे झोंकों में खुशबुओं का डेरा है, भीगे भीगे झोंकों में खुशबुओं का डेरा है, पर्वतों के पेड़ों पर।
Aaj Aur Kal, released in '63, it was an interesting movie. It had Ashok Kumar as the overbearing father, Nanda, Tanuja, and a couple of other young men who are all siblings, and they're all children of Ashok Kumar. He keeps his kids completely cowed down and under his thumb. Sunil Dutt, he's the male lead in this, cast opposite Nanda. He comes in as this young doctor. He is trying to cure Nanda, who has a kind of paralysis because she's been, terrorized basically by her father, and that manifests in the form of her being unable to walk. So this young man comes in and he is the complete opposite of her father. He, is all for people doing what they would like to do, speak their minds, and so on. It was sort of an average hit at the box office, but the music was very beautiful. Ravi ji and Sahir Sahab again, very, very beautiful songs. There's one that's sort of a rebellious song where, they're talking about going against the dictator type song, and a bunch of other beautiful romance songs as well. And the one I'd like to share is a duet. It's a solo by Rafi Saab. ये वादियाँ ये फिजाएं बुला रही है तुम्हें.
ये वादियाँ ये फिजाएं बुला रही है तुम्हें, ये वादियाँ ये फिजाएं बुला रही है तुम्हें, खामोशियों की सदाएं बुला रही है तुम्हें, ये वादियाँ ये फिजाएं बुला रही है तुम्हें. तरस रहे हैं जवां फूल होठ छूने को, तरस रहे हैं जवां फूल होठ छूने को, मचल मचल के हवाएं बुला रही है तुम्हें, मचल मचल के हवाएं बुला रही है तुम्हें, खामोशियों की सदाएं बुला रही है तुम्हें, ये वादियाँ ये फिजाएं बुला रही है तुम्हें.
Vasna came out in 1968. It had Padmini, you know, the South Indian film star, in the lead. She has a very strong role in this whole movie. Rajkumar is cast opposite her as her alcoholic husband. The movie is essentially a kind of a poster, shall I say, against the consuming of alcohol. It's quite literally a poster. Every cliche that you can think of regarding alcoholism is in the movie. It's overly dramatic. I don't know, I didn't enjoy the movie really. Kumud Chugani and Biswajit play the younger leads in the movie. The song that's relevant to our theme today, it's again exquisite duet. Rafi Saab, Lata ji, Sahir Saab's lyrics, Chitragupt's music. Sahir Saab has scored 100% this episode, right? All 6 songs he wrote them. ये पर्वतों के दायरे, ये शाम का धुआं, ऐसे में क्यों न छेड़ दे दिलों की दास्तां.
ये पर्वतों के दायरे, ये शाम का धुआं, ऐसे में क्यों ना छेड़ दे दिलों की दास्तां.
ये पर्वतों के दायरे, ये शाम का धुआं, ऐसे में क्यों न छेड़ दे दिलों की दास्तां. ये पर्वतों के दायरे, ये शाम का धुआं. जरा सी जुल्फ खोल दो, फिजा में इत्र घोल दो. जरा सी जुल्फ खोल दो, फिजा में इत्र घोल दो. नजर जो बात कह चुकी, वो बात मुंह से बोल दो. के झूम उठे निगाह में बहार का समा. ये पर्वतों के दायरे, ये शाम का धुआं.
That's it for today, folks. Do let me know how you liked the episode, and also if you have some songs that you would have liked for me to have talked about. We can do another episode on this as well. I will be back in 2 weeks, and until then, remember, music is food for the soul. Keep listening.